Hey, good evening everybody. I made a video about this before last year, but I'm going to show you it again. This time from before I start planting, and then I'm hoping to do like one video a week on the tomatoes. Alright, so this is my tomato trellis. It's a 1/2 inch conduit, and stands about 10 foot tall, roughly. Yeah, probably more like 9 foot, because the conduit's 10 foot and it's pushed into the ground a little bit. And you can see barely, but I have two pieces that go across the top, and that holds the top from spreading out or, going closer together. This raised bed here, it's 12 by 6. So the rows are right about 30 inches apart or so. There'll be plenty of room for me to go in and weed and sucker the tomato vines and harvest my tomatoes. Last year we had tomatoes that grew up the poles. I have 1, 2, 3 in each row. So there's 1, 2, 3. So there's 1, 2, 3 here. There's 9 total. Then you count the 2 at the top. Last year I had one more row, but this year we're gonna scale it back a little bit because we had way too many tomatoes last year. And I think this will be about the right size for us. As many tomato things as we can. We make tomato sauce and ketchup and diced tomatoes. So this is our setup. Let me try to zoom in up here so you can see. Someone asked me about this before. For the middle pole there to hold up, because they don't make conduit tees. At least I didn't see any. I just used a galvanized tee that was large enough. I think it's a 3/4 galvanized tee, and then I just kind of wired this pole. I wired it to the T, and then slid this piece of conduit through, and it holds it nicely. I'm pretty happy with it. Alright, so let me show you the tomato plants. Oh, one more quick thing. We did have the tomato plants that were close to the poles, growing up the poles, but this year we're not going to do that. We're going to run string down from the top, and we're going to have the plants growing up strings, because that way we don't have to go out there and tie them off. It'll just quickly wrap the vine around a string, and then that's it. No fussing with cutting a piece of wire and wiring it up and then it falling down if we don't get out to it in enough time. Okay, so this year we started our tomatoes in this little greenhouse we bought for $20, and I'll show you the tomatoes. Right here we have, last year we grew San Marzano tomatoes, and we got a ton of blossom end rot, so I wasn't going to do them this year, but I still had some seeds left over, so I figured, what the heck, I'll try it again, and we'll see if I'll just lay down a ton of bone meal or something, give them enough calcium, throw some eggshells out there or something in the hole that I plant in, and hopefully that'll prevent that blossom end rot from happening. And also I found out this year too that there's a spray you can buy if you do get blossom end rot. You can spray it right away, and it's like a calcium boost or something like that. Okay, so we're gonna keep an eye on that. Next kind of tomato, it's a new one that I'm doing this year. It's called a red ox heart. I haven't done it before. I saw the seed packet and it was an heirloom, so I figured I'd try it. But it said it's a good paste tomato. That's what the seed packet said, so we'll see. Back there, further back, those are just regular old Roma tomatoes. Oh, and this year, this is the first time I'm using these little pucks that you throw in the water and then they expand out. So, and I'm actually liking them. It was they're nice. And then we have, wow, the mosquitoes are really crazy right now. We have brandywines here. These are the brandywines. Grew those last year. We have Mortgage lifters, those are an amazing tomato. If you haven't ever grown one, I suggest you try it because it's just a gigantic beefsteak tomato. It's a pink meat. They're really awesome. And then in the far back, those are Rutgers. So we have 6 varieties of tomato plants. We're going to plant 21 plants on the trellis, and then probably a few more in some containers. Then we're also gonna, as we sucker the tomatoes, because we're gonna have them grow up the rope, or excuse me, up the string, we'll transplant a few of the suckers into some containers and see, do a little cloning project. I tried to do it last year, but it kind of was a failure. So this year we're hoping to have a little bit more success with it and pay more attention, do a couple more videos on it. Alright, so that's the tomatoes, my little greenhouse, and my trellis. And just one more quick word about this greenhouse. If you have one or you're wanting to get one, you really got to come out every day and check on it, because and watch your weather. We had it get up to like 80 degrees one day and it was all zipped up, and I scorched some plants, so I had to start over. So if you're planning on using one of these, just know that you need to check on it daily in the morning and watch your weather so you don't burn up your plants, because it doesn't have any vents on it. But it's been pretty good.